Hey everyone, welcome to another video, and today we are going to talk about the Summer Game Fest that happened yesterday. We did a watch party reaction to it, and if you would like to see my original reaction to it, go check out the live stream, the recorded live stream. But today, what we're going to do is we're going to break it down and we're going to analyze and talk a little bit about what all the stuff that we saw, all the game trailers, the teasers, not all of it, but pretty much the prominent ones. So the teasers, the trailers, the gameplay reveals, some of the collaborations, right? So we want to cover a lot of the prominent ones. Uh, what I feel were the most prominent ones. It's just my opinion. Some of you guys may feel different. So sometimes I might not cover the game that you're interested. So I apologize for that. So yeah, let's just get right on with it. So the Summer Game Fest happened yesterday, right? Hosted by the Game Show Awards, and yeah, they had a really good lineup. There were a lot of good showcases. There were a lot of good reveals. It lacked a little bit of hype compared to the PS Summer Showcase, but I think that's because we knew pretty much half of, or pretty much all of what we were going to see, right? We knew what was going to happen. We knew they were going to show Alan Wake 2. We knew they were going to show MK gameplay. So we knew a lot of that was going to happen. So it wasn't as hype, but it was still a lot more exciting to see, right? There was still a couple more reveals, right? So we'll dive deep, right into it with the very first. They opened the show quite strongly with uh, with an announcement of an upcoming game, which is crazy. And that is, let me just move right here, up as you can see, which is none other than Prince of Persia. Prince of Persia goes back to the 2D platforming, back to the basics, boys. It's back to 2D platforming. That is crazy, right?
Our kingdom is cursed. The prince has been kidnapped and taken to a forbidden land. All hope rests with us, the Immortals, to rescue him and save the Empire.
So the prince has been kidnapped. So we're going after a prince this time, not a princess.
Then again, they weren't prepared for me.
I like the pace of it. It's quite fast. All right, let's stop it right there and let's just quickly go to the right. So there we have it. Prince of Persia, The Lost Crown, January 18th, early next year, it will be releasing. So, yes, Prince of Persia. Super excited that we're finally getting another Prince of Persia, another installment. It is about time. I think the last Prince of Persia game we got was somewhere in 2014, 13. So it's like almost a decade, or pretty much a decade, right, since we had it. So looking back at the series, so Prince of Persia came out first uh, in the 90s, I think. So it had Prince of Persia 1, and then there was, I can't remember the second game. It was like pretty much for like, I think it was for Sega and, stuff like that, game consoles like that. And then came, I think, another game in between, and then the 3D era started, right? Prince of Persia, the 3D era. So first we had, I think this was in the PS2. This was it? Yeah, it was pretty much in the PS2 timeline. Uh, so Prince of Persia, the Sands of Time trilogy, right? So we had Sands of Time, the Warrior Within, and then the Two Thrones. So that was the Sands of Time trilogy, and then after that, I think a game in between. I can't remember what it was, and then right after that, we had the Prince of Persia that came out in 2008, if I'm not mistaken, the one for the PS3, and that was a different story, right? It did not have the exact same characters, the different prints. It was a different continuity in a whole new setting, and it had a DLC if I'm not mistaken, and it had a sequel, but not for the PS. It had a sequel for PSP, I think, The Fallen King. I played the 2008 one. It was more like it felt like a reboot because it was a whole new story, whole new set of characters, and the game had a lot of mixed reviews. Right, I liked it. I liked the story. I thought the story was really good, and I think that the mechanics, the gameplay mechanics, the parkour mechanics, and stuff like that was also really good. With the dynamic between the prince and the princess. I can't remember what the princess's name was, but she had these magical powers, and she's the one who was helping you throughout the pretty much of the game with the traversal combat and stuff like that. And I thought the dynamic between the two, the chemistry between the two was quite good. And the jokes between back and forth, and the storytelling, them sharing each other's stories. I thought it was quite rather good, and the overall story was also quite good. Although it did not receive a lot of positive reviews, and Ubisoft, I don't know, they did some sequel with this the Fallen King title for the PSP. I think I'm pretty sure it didn't come for the PS3 or any other console for for Xbox or uh, PC or anything. But Ubisoft pretty much gave up on that. I'm not sure why. I thought they could have done a bit more with that story because they had some things. They had a good foundation there. I think they didn't execute a few things well. Maybe and yeah, I thought yeah, and I think maybe the marketing was also really not that good. Maybe for the time. And then we had another Prince of Persia, kind of like a trilogy that came in 2011 or 10. I can't remember. The Forgotten Sands, and this was pretty much. They said it's like a prequel sequel of sorts. It's set during the timeline of the original Sands of Time trilogy, but it felt like a reboot, but with a different story. I did not play it, but I did check it out a bit, and it did not feel a lot that interesting. So yeah, I think and that trilogy went up to 2014 ish, and yeah, and now here we are in 2003, where they have announced Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown, the newest installment, and this is coming in January 18, 2024. Another thing I would like to highlight is that there was a rumor going around saying because when I initially saw the gameplay and I knew it was Prince of Persia, I thought it was the remake of because this year has been the year of remakes, right? We've had Dead Space One remakes, we had uh, the Mass Effect trilogy remake, the remastered. GTA had a remaster of its own, but which was a flop in my opinion. And then we had the Resident Evil 4 remake. So it has been the year of remakes, right? So I initially thought that this was going to be a remake, going back to the 2D platforming, going back to the roots of 2D platforming, ditching the 3D whole 3D action adventure, and then it was pretty much a remake in that aspect of the Sands of Time trilogy. But turns out that it's pretty much a new continuity. It's a new setting, new character, new prince, and from what I heard, I think you must have also caught onto it during the trailer. So there's a mention of a prince going missing. So you are looking for a prince and not a princess, if I'm not mistaken, right? So there we have it. So this is the first reveal of the Summer Game Fest. So they kind of like started off strong with Prince of Persia, a good IP. Everyone loves this. We all love Prince of Persia. It's a good game series, right? All right, moving on onto the what I thought should have been the main showcase, and they should have put this at last, but it's fine. It's all right. They went on to the second showcase, which is the Mortal Kombat gameplay reveal, and here we are. Without wasting much time, let's just dive right into it. Oh my goodness, look at this! Like, one thing I want to highlight is the level design. The level design is next. Like, I don't know how they took it. The level design is awesome, right? Yeah, props to the stage designers, level designers who they are, because the arenas, the stages look sick. That's what I could say. That's what I can definitely say. So this is Kenshi. Oh my god, look at the stage, man. This has to be Johnny Cage's house. I mean, like, it only makes sense. Then we have. Oh my god, look at this. After the trailer, we'll talk about we'll talk a little bit about detail, like exactly what are we seeing here. Oof.
Okay, let's go back to one here. Who are you again? Lord Liu Kang, protector of Earthrealm, god of fire.
Oh. Oh my goodness. Air juggles. So we have air combos now. That's crazy. That is sick. I feel like I should play. I think once MK drops out, I might start competitive MK again, man. Who knows?
Whatever experience I lack,
That's my guy Raiden. It's crazy seeing Raiden like this, like a rookie. He's like a rookie character now. It's crazy seeing Raiden like this. Oh my god! Look at the level, man. Look at the level design. How beautiful is it? So psyched, man. So psyched. We have Melina.
becomes known, you will be banished. I only want what's best for you. Or do you secretly covet my throne?
This has to be a Dinia. Oh, Goro. Crazy, crazy, crazy. I'm a bit pissed off that they did a fatality on Johnny Cage. But yeah. Oh my god. Crazy shit, crazy shit. Alright, there's a lot. Oh my god, look at that Sub Zero Scorpion. Wow. September 19th, baby. September 19th. Right, so there was a lot to, pretty much digest all in one go. So there you have it, the K1 gameplay reveal, which is magnificent. So right after this, they bring in Ed Boon, and he walks us through the gameplay, which is a lot of things is what we pretty much, back then when we during the PlayStation Summer Showcase, what we kind of like discussed, what we kind of like analyzed. It is pretty much like what we thought it was, right? So we'll quickly take a look at some of the things. Let's just quickly.
Another big and anticipated
Oops.
ARPG is Path of Exile.
Yeah, let me. All right, there we go. All right.
Yeah, so it's kind of like
all new, completely different fighters that are the cameo.
Uh, Okay, there we go. So as you can see, initially the roster, right? So there is going to be a main roster, right? And as we had seen, they mentioned there's going to be a secondary roster called the cameo roster. So what's going to happen is like in a lot of games, like in Naruto, Ninja Storm, or Pokken, you know, and kind of like in MK9 when you had the tag system, right? So it's not a proper tag team based combat, right? It's not like you can switch out your character and switch into your second character, right? It's nothing like that. This is more like an assist character, right? It comes in, assists you with something, and then goes off. It helps you extend your combos, comes in, disrupts a combo, performs a combo breaker. That's what this whole mechanic is going to be, right? So all your combo breakers, your combo extenders, all these kind of like stuff, uh, it's going to revolve around this cameo character coming in, assisting you, breaking the opponent's combos, and stuff like that, right? So it's pretty much just a support character, right? So you will be playing your main character throughout, but this is just a support character. So from what they explained, you're going to have your main roster first. You're going to select your main characters, and then you're going to move into. So as we can see from here, confirmed in the main roster who will be in the story as well. Sub-Zero, Scorpion, we knew that was going to happen. Kitana, obviously we knew, and Kenshi. So we got that right as well. Kenshi, and then others are Raiden, so Johnny Cage, Fire God Liu Kang, and Shang Tsung, and Melina. So that's all that's confirmed. Everyone else that you see in the cameo roster is just there as a cameo, right? As the name suggests, it is just a cameo. It is just an additional support character. They have no relation to the story whatsoever. They are not. It doesn't mean that they're actually in the game. They just exist for the sole purpose of being a support character. That is all, right? So once you select your main character, and they're gonna, and there we go. You're going to go into a cameo character selection, and this is where you're going to select your cameo characters. So as you can see from here, there is going to be Jax. We knew Jax was not going to make it. Sonya, we had a bit of a question mark as to whether Sonya would make it or not, but it seems like she is not going to make it. She could. They might reveal her because Ed Wood did mention that main character rosters can also be cameo characters at the same time. So that means you can have double Sub-Zero, double Scorpions, stuff like that, right? So we have Kano, and I honestly think Kano does not. But who knows, right? Kano might make it because we need proper villains. So yeah, so the story is reset, right? We can see it. Liu Kang, so there's trouble again, and Liu Kang is recruiting everyone, all the Earthrealm warriors. And from what we saw, so Sub-Zero and Scorpion are gonna be like kind of like his two, because they're always with him, right? So Sub-Zero and Scorpion are gonna be Liu Kang's right hand men, something like that. And then pretty much he's gonna recruit Raiden, who is like, so pretty much the roles are reversed here, properly reversed. So it's Raiden and Kung Lao. It's Raiden and Liu Kang that's reversed. So Liu Kang is the guiding figure now, and Raiden is the upcoming rookie. I'm not sure if Raiden is going to be destined to be the champion, the Earthrealm champion, but it makes sense if they do it. But it is kind of like expected, so I'm not sure where. Johnny Cage is there, Kenshi is there. They show over here in the character selection, we can see he's blind, but in the initial trailer, he was not blind. So I'm guessing throughout the course of the game, he's going to lose his eyesight. And and they're all really young, right? This is like proper young. They're like pretty much everyone is like in their early 20s from the looks of it, right? And yeah, the character designs all look way different, and just super stoked, right? Super stoked. It would be I'm gonna presume that costume selections are going to be there as well, costume customizations and stuff like that. It would be nice to see some some OG costumes at the same time. So that's the character selection tree. Let's go a bit into the mechanics. I think they show it a bit here. Oh, this part is crazy, right? So the loading screen. So there's no longer going to be a loading screen. What's going to happen is
So you can basically combine these two characters. All the characters can be combined with all the cameo fighters, and that's where you see.
so as you can see, right? As soon as they select as soon as you both finish selecting your characters, they go into like a small clash, like we've seen in Injustice. Like initially, a lot of people thought that this was like a clash system from Injustice, right? But it's because once again, NetherRealm is developed by Injustice was developed by NetherRealm Games as well. So it only makes it would make sense if they share certain game mechanics, right, between the two. We've seen that happen back and forth between MK and Injustice. But in here, what happens is they sort of like go into a clash system, and this is your loading screen. So it's completely interactive. You don't feel like there's a loading screen. So it's just the two of them just clashing at each other, and they're talking smack at the same time. They're talking smack to each other, and then it goes into the fight intro, which is super crazy, right?
That's where the player's kind of imagination.
As you can see, like they're just talking to each other. You can't hear it clearly a bit because Boone is also talking. So, and then as you can see, it just goes right into gameplay. Like this is crazy. That I'm like that is like whoever had that idea to do it like that it's just genius, right? Because it just makes it feel so fresh, like it's like you never left the menu at all,
Yeah,
right? And then we let's look.
middle of a combo.
Right, so let's look a bit about like what we see here. As you can see, on top you have your health bars, standard health bars, and then next to each of your character icons, you can see your two support characters with the button R1. So this is how you can activate your support character. And they didn't exactly explain how you can you can't exactly spam your support character, but you need to and look at the bottom you have meter, and it looks like they're going back to the standard 3 bar meter, which we've seen from MK9, MK, and then move on to MKX. MK11 did a bit different, where you have like a 4 bar meter, two for offensive and two for defensive stuff capabilities, and now it's like a full shared bar. They're going back to that mechanic, right? Which is totally fine. No one has any issues with it. And the other thing that a lot of people have noticed is that all your X-ray moves, like X-ray fatalities, it seems sometimes finisher moves or brutalities. I think it's all going to involve the support character as well. So it doesn't feel like you just choose the guy and the guy is just there for the duration of the match, and then after that he's nowhere. No, the guy is involved in your fatality as well, and X-rays and stuff like that. And it's really interesting to see how much different permutations and combinations they can do with each character.
They'll have a lot of, basically a whole arsenal.
As you can see, like Sonya comes in, Kano comes in, does a combo breaker, so he breaks the combos for you, and the same thing, Sonya comes in, does the same thing for Sub-Zero, so that's how it's going to work out.
Is it a different set of characters that'll be in the cameos? Are there some repeats from the main roster? How will that work?
Yeah, some of the characters.
Right, so we're not going to go throughout into this, but that's pretty much the gist of MK, and oh, I can't tell you now how excited am I to to see this. Right, so moving on, right after MK, and I'm not sure when after this they had like a few reveals and trailers and stuff like that. Path of Exile. I'm not sure if anyone is a fan of Path of Exile, but to me it looked. I think the closest description, if it's like a like a Diablo-esque type game, and all right, so there were a couple of crazy collaborations, right? And this is one crazy collaboration. I'm not going to spend too much time on it, but I'm going to just. This is awesome, right? This is awesome. I'm not sure how many of you play Dead by Daylight, but it is a multiplayer horror, not a horror, 1v4, I think, yeah, 1v4 multiplayer game. It's your typical, I'm not sure what was the proper terminology for that type of game, where one person plays like a super overpowered character versus 4 underpowered characters. So we've seen this in Evolved, where one person plays as the monster and then other 4 players 4 hunters, stuff like that. So Dead by Daylight is where one player plays as just like a Predator, where one person plays Predator, and then you get the 4 soldiers. So in Dead by Daylight, one player plays as um, the monster. So it could be Jason. I'm not sure what are all the monsters here, because I don't play this. I just know that Jason is the most prominent one. Jason, I think Leatherface is also there, and then you play as 4 different like normal characters whose objective is to escape from the monster. And now we have, as part of the normal character roster, Nicolas Cage. It's a character played by Nicolas Cage, so he's so it's a collaboration between Dead by Daylight and Nicolas Cage, and a character played by him, like will be in the on the side of the innocents, the victims roster. So which is quite a crazy collaboration. It's been some time since we've seen Nicolas Cage. I think he has a movie coming out, or it's come out already, right? Something with Redfield. Yeah, so he's a movie, but yeah, it's exciting to see Nicolas Cage in games, right? So just a small collaboration. I just want to show that out because it's a quite a crazy collaboration, right? So right, moving back onto the games, I think the next one I want to talk about is no, not Witchfire, Crossfire. That's Remnant. Oh my goodness, yes. Yes. So for those of you who are OG Mario, who has played the OG Mario, the OG, you know, Sonic the Hedgehog games, and stuff like that on Sega, and all that. So Sonic Superstars.
Up in a style that I think is going to get this fan base and longtime fans of video games very excited. Here's another Summer Game Fest global game announcement. New thrills with a classic feel.
Sonic is getting. I think the original Sonic game, yeah, it's getting a remake, and that is quite crazy. Like the nostalgia, man. The nostalgia is just off the chart. I like it when they do shit like this, because there's some really old games that deserve like proper remakes and stuff. Like you could only think like, what if this game was made with current technology, right? With current game technology, and yeah. So Sonic is getting a remake. It's just a gameplay announcement, so yeah, we can just skip past that. What else was there? Honkai Star Rail. Yeah, it's just a announcement of a character. Lies of P. No, not that one. Sand. No. I think the next one I want to talk about is, yes, Alan Wake 2. So the sequel of Alan Wake 2, they're gonna show. I'm gonna skip right into, um, yeah, right into the gameplay. So one thing I want to note about Alan Wake 2 is the camera angle is very different from the first game. In the first game, we had a bit more further third-person camera angle, and this one is more like over-the-shoulder type, like RE style, Resident Evil style, stuff like that. Over-the-shoulder third person, much more closer, more immersive, so that the jump scares feel a bit more authentic. So yeah, and as explained by the game director earlier before they showed the same place. So it's going to take place in Bright Falls, the same town area as where the first Alan Wake took part in, and you're going to play the game through two characters this time. One is this FBI agent named, I forgot her name. Oh shit! Yeah, I can't remember. Yeah, so basically you're playing as this FBI agent, and then you're playing. So Alan Wake takes place in two universes, right? So one is the real world, and the one is the nightmare. I think it's called the nightmare world, right? Yeah, the nightmare world. So in the first game, so Alan Wake is looking for his lost wife, right? If I remember correctly, yeah, because it's been some time since I played the game. So you pretty much you rescue your wife in the end, but at the cost of yourself being trapped in the nightmare world. So in this game, Alan is in the nightmare world, and this FBI agent is in the real world, and it's the two of them crossing paths between these worlds, right? So the FBI agents, they're here in Bright Falls investigating a series of murders, and so you're pretty much discovering this whole realm craziness, stuff. So they're thrown into this, and so yeah, it's pretty interesting how they're not gonna. So for now, they're gonna just show us the gameplay of the FBI agent playing from her perspective, but they don't show Alan or anything else. But we can see a bit of bits and pieces like later on. So the main thing about this game is like light, right? So light is the crucial game mechanic of this game. So light is what can hurt uh, monsters. So yeah, uh, so light is a really important resource in this game.
Sounds like somebody's home.
Just quickly fast forward. So yeah, enemies are invulnerable to bullets and stuff because they are immaterial. But once you shine light on them, they materialize, and then you can shoot them. So this is the same mechanic from the first game. I can't remember. Yeah, I can't remember if they had a dodge. I can't remember if he had a dodge mechanic in the first game, but yeah, it's always nice to have a dodge mechanic.
I'm glad you're on this case with me, Anderson. Killer left a message.
It's for us.
We were all trapped in a
So
horror
this is Alan Wake. He's trapped in the Nightmare World.
The horror story wanted us dead.
There's something I'm forgetting. Something important. Something's not right.
So the Alan Wake, October 17th. So that's when Alan Wake is coming out. Right. After that, there were a couple of games. There was Warhammer. Yes, yeah, a couple of games and review Baldur's Gate. Spider-Man. Yeah, so Spider-Man is the next thing. So I they don't show any gameplay anything, but they do show the box art, which looks sick. If you can see that. So this is the Spider-Man 2 box art. And if you remember from the first game, the box art was just, it was a similar thing, and it was just Spider-Man. Now it has Miles Morales in it, and yeah, as you can see, Spider-Man, he has his symbiote powers as well. And then they have a small, yeah, so they have a concept art of Venom. Venom looks sick, and they do mention here that it's not the Eddie Brock Venom. They are following a new story path, which is quite interesting. There have been several characters who have pretty much been Venom, right? Most notably was Eddie Brock. I can't remember who else was there exactly. But yeah, from the the post credits of the first game and stuff like that, it looks like ideally it should be Harry Osborn, but in the gameplay trailers we saw that Peter, in the gameplay reveal we saw that Peter wielding the symbiote powers, right? So I'm just wondering if they got it off Harry and then onto Peter somehow. So yeah, there's a big question mark as to like who exactly is Venom, because in order to be Venom, Venom is basically the symbiote, like after attaching to someone, like after being like from Peter to someone else, like no wait, yeah. So I have a feeling, and this could be a really good reveal, because I think that somewhere down the line, the end boss, because we know the one antagonist is Craven, so he's here for the hunt, and then the other one is Venom, right? So I'm guessing at some point we're going to see a union between the three of these three. We're going to see a couple of things, right? It could go in either way. Either the three of them are going to fight together against Craven and his army. So while fighting each other, they decide to settle their differences. Whoever Venom is, if someone is going to be Venom, ideally I think it should be Harry Osborn, as hinted from as pretty much shown in the post credits of Spider-Man 1. But I think there is a chance that Venom is going to be pretty much the symbiote on Craven, right? And that is going to be amazing. Like that's going to be like crazy if that is the case, right? So this, like what we're looking at here, could be Venom, pretty much the symbiote on Craven, and that's going to be the biggest battle, right? So Craven as Venom versus Spider-Man and Miles. This is Peter and Miles. And yeah, I think they could do it. Who knows? It could change. But I think if they do it, that'd be awesome. That'll be one OP boss. So yeah, so that's all they showed for Spider-Man. They didn't show anything else. They did announce the release date, which is October, if I remember correctly, it was October 20th, right? October 20th. Yeah. October 20th. Then I think this game we've seen it for a while. Pale World or whatever. I'm not sure what this game is, where is it from, or whoever the developer is, but it's pretty much Pokemon with guns, right? And I've seen this, and I've seen this game sometime back, way before, and because I've seen a lot of similarities to Pokemon, especially design wise, So I'm expecting to see some copyright shit storm to happen with the Pokemon company. And I mean, I look at this. That's Gyarados for sure on the left. Uh, Electabuzz. Some. Look at that. You have guns and Pokemon. It's crazy. That looks like Dumbool, man. Quagsire with cannons. It's funny, man. If this game comes and there is no if this game comes, and I think from the looks of it, it's going to be for Nintendo, right? It looks like a very Nintendo-ish game. If it does come, man, I don't know, man. I need to get this. Like, I love Pokemon. I love guns. I mean, like, I like shooters. What could go wrong, right? So that's Palworld for you. And then you have a couple of like other desserts. Oh yeah, there was a Lord of the Rings game announced as well. Return to Moria. So I don't know. Lately the Lord of the Rings games has been sucking. You also what happened with Golem, perfect shitstorm. So I won't even waste my time talking about it. Final Fantasy. That's a mobile game. Ever Crisis. Oh wait, I did want to talk about this, right? Because I think this game. It seems like an announcement, but it kind of piqued my interest.
Hunters in the haunted wilds of North America.
Yeah, this game did pique my interest quite a bit.
Life to the living, death to the dead.
So yeah, this is Banisher's Ghost of New Eden. You basically play as two characters in one, right? So you have this. They seem to be like a couple, and the girl, a woman, is deceased, and her spirit is with the guy, right? She's inhabiting the guy's body. Not that she's taken over, but she's with the guy. They're two. They're one. It's like she's bound to him or something like that. I think, yeah, that's my guess. And pretty much like you're tackling all these like ghosts and stuff. So you have like different abilities. You switch between the two and stuff like that. It looks very interesting. And if and I might do a different video on this if I could find more details because I like the direction this game is going in because this whole hunter ghost vibe is quite appealing to me.
We end suffering for those who
Because I like when there's like stuff to investigate and like it looks like this has like a whole investigation phase and stuff like that. But we'll see. The combat also looks quite good.
I want revenge on what killed me. I want to live. As the man said,
So yeah,
faced
traversal, puzzle solving and stuff like that. So you need to use, and you can see there's like choices to make and things like that. So it looks very interesting.
to be together again.
Like solving puzzles, traversal. You need to combine the two abilities. So yeah, I need to get more information on this game. Like
One, show yourself.
Red,
Every bloody time.
Banishers Ghost of New Eden. Yep, good game. All right, what else? Under the Wiz, yeah. Yeah, we can go all the way to the end. Mortals of Heaven, no, I don't think. Fortnite Pass, no. Enough for Fortnite. Yeah, right. Fantasy.
RPG genre
Final Fantasy 7 fans can rejoice
rich storytelling.
because
This trailer
Final Fantasy 7, which is quite an iconic Final Fantasy installment, and I haven't played any of the Final Fantasy games, so yeah, sucks to be me. But yeah, so Final Fantasy 7 is getting a remake, which is quite awesome. It is the year of remakes, and I'm not entirely sure. There's a bit of confusion because it just mentioned somewhere that I saw somewhere that it is a continuation. Yeah, the Unknown Journey continues. So yeah, it seems like it's a continuation of
just look at it all.
Final Fantasy 7, right?
Even after everything we've done to it,
Yeah.
What's Cloud been doing these past 5 years? Where's he been? And you're asking me this? This is gonna sound crazy, but
Yeah, it just shows a bunch of exploration and gameplay. So yeah, and yeah, I think that pretty much covers it. So that is. Let me see if anything else. Yeah, nothing else gets announced. And that pretty much wraps up Summer Game Fest. Like we talked about pretty much all the prominent ones that I could think of were prominent. So yeah, pretty exciting time for games. Definitely to the latter part of this year, during fall, we're getting a whole bunch of new games: Alan Wake 2, Spider-Man 2, MK1. It is going to be crazy, right? Playing all these games, but we will do our best to. I want to play all of them. These three: Alan Wake 2, Spider-Man 2, MK1. Those three are a definite must for me. I need to play them, and yeah, let me know what you guys think. Let me know what your expectations are. What are you guys excited to see most? Share your thoughts in the comments and stuff like that. Stuff in the comments below, and yeah, I'll see you guys next time then. So yeah, do like, share, subscribe, turn on notifications if you enjoy my content. And I hope you guys have a fabulous day, a good night, and yeah, see you all in the next stream or video, whichever comes first. Bye bye.